Hello and welcome to Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. We are here looking at the hottest bikes and tech at this year's race. And first of all, we're starting with the S-Works SL8 of Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe because this has new stuff from Specialized. We'll start with the tires and the wheels because this is where all the newness is. That front wheel is a new one from Rouvy. It's deeper, it looks a bit wider, and it looks like there is a new hub too. I've seen rumors online that this is part of some kind of sprint wheel set, but the rear wheel doesn't look new. So we'll have to wait for proper confirmation to see what's happening there. Thank you very much to Rouvy for sponsoring this section of the video because it is the perfect time to get yourself fit for a spring and summer of fantastic bike riding. And if you want to know more about Rouvy, click the link in the description. Onto those wheels, we do have new tires. Two very interesting tire things here. First is the new S-Works tires. These are basically unbranded. They're not, apparently, according to the mechanic here, the new S-Works Turbo Cotton. Those have been rumored. We haven't seen them yet. These are going to be a new tire. We don't know much about them. Tan walls. These ones are 30 millimeters so that we know we're going to be talking about a wider tire. Very, very slick tread. The hubs do look new. The front one is black and the rear one is silver. That's why we kind of know that the rear one isn't part of the new wheel set. The rest of the bike is pretty standard fare. The UCI are just going over it. That's the iPad scanner to check for motors. One thing that I would note though is Ryan Mullen is running a very interesting setup. First of all, the rest of the team are on standard 2x SRAM red shifting, but Ryan has gone for a 1x with a very nice Aero chainring as well. He's also on the Mondo tires, which are a wider 32 millimeter kind of endurance tire almost. So maybe he's expecting to use the extra volume. Maybe the new S-Works tires don't come wide enough for him. It'll be very interesting to see more about those S-Works tires very, very soon. We are here with the bike of Tom Pidcock, and quite interestingly, he's going full aero, full send for this race. We've seen him racing the Addict RC to great effect over in the Middle East, but now he's on the foil, and this is a stunner. I really, really like this. They've got the Zip wheels, it's a full SRAM build, and interestingly, Pidcock has gone for the 140 rotor in the back too. An absolute excellent spot from Felix, the cameraman here. SRAM tyre whiz.
Well, I hate to admit it, but once we'd gone away, we did realise that this was a new and unreleased set of Zip wheels with a tyre whiz hidden inside the rim. Who would have thunk it, but the blinking light should have been a bit of a giveaway. Another telltale sign that a brand doesn't want you to know what is going on with a product is electrical tape, and these wheels had it right where you would expect to find a logo. So essentially what a tyre whiz does is just give you live tyre pressure data up on your head unit, and that means that Tom Pidcock could spot it really, really quickly and then get his hand up in the air and get that service up to him even faster than usual.
Over at the Little Trek team, and one of the really interesting things, possibly the most interesting thing I've seen today, is on Emma Norsgaard's bike. She is running a 1x Aero chainring. Very cool, you might think. But look at the cassette that she's got on the back of there. That's an Explore cassette, which is, I think, a 10 to 44 tooth spread, which is a massive spread, but Omloop is either very flat or big, steep, cobbled climb, so maybe she's not going to suffer the big jumps in the cassette. Who knows, but I think that is possibly the best thing I've seen all day. And this one, if we shimmy on over here, Felix, this one has a very, very low front end, which looks really, really cool. We're at Canyon SRAM, and I've seen a really cool difference in the chain rings. What we have here is a 5239, and then if we come down this way, we have a 4835. I think this is just really a difference in the rider's preferences. Maybe this rider likes to stay in the big ring for longer on the climbs, and therefore a smaller chain ring does for her. So we've just seen Tiffany Cromwell rolling in, and she's obviously a very experienced road and gravel racer, but it's from the gravel world that I think she's taking her cockpit setup, because that is an incredibly flared kind of drop situation. So that's really interesting. And obviously that means that she can run her levers canted more inwards, which means more aero. We like that. Right, this is a treat. Kasia Niewiadoma has just rolled back to the team bus, and she is on a very interesting looking Canyon. Obviously, my heart skipped a beat and I thought it was a new Aero, but it's not. Canyon have just launched their custom paint program. But what do you think of custom painted Canyons? Because they're generally not very bright, a little bit dull sometimes. So having the customization option, what do you make of that? This is also really interesting because she's got that hammerhead, which I think she got for winning the Tour, which is really cool. Okay, we're now here with Ineos Grenadiers. They're lovely Pinarello Dogma Fs. One thing that I'll be really interested to look for this year is riders running a variation on these Shimano Dura-Ace chainrings. Now, the team used to do this quite a bit back in the day, but in the last few years, I think Shimano have kind of clamped down on it. They are a Shimano-sponsored team, and so they've clamped down and said, you've got to use the Dura-Ace rings. So what we're seeing is kind of the standard 54-40 tooth chainring setup, and then an 11 to 30-ish out back. Very standard setup from Ineos here. One really interesting thing over at the Uno X team is that some of the riders are clearly not getting on with the integrated setup, or they're just not being made in their size quite yet, because we've got some of the Dida stems here in a two-piece system. And then if you follow me down here, we finally get to one of the riders has the integrated setup. I think that that looks really, really tidy. So I'm sure that all the other riders will be hoping that they get that one in their size soon. So one of the things that I really like that Pro Cycling has done since tubeless has come in is get really good at marking up the wheels for when they were filled with sealant, with how much. And that just means that the mechanics can keep really on top of making sure that the sealant that's in there is actually doing its job. Because as pretty much all of us know, if you leave sealant to go off, it doesn't really work and it just forms clumps, and that will imbalance your wheel probably. So yeah, this is a thing that I really think that everyone could learn from. All right, with the bike of Lorena Wiebes of the SD Works team, and I would expect that this bike is going to be right at the pointy end. But weirdly, unlike the Bora Hansgrohe bikes that were very, very highly customized, this has nothing new on it. Like, the tires are the old turbo cottons. The Rover wheels, well, they're the standard CLX 3s that we've already seen. There's absolutely nothing going on here that you would be like, wow, that's a leader's bike. So it's really, really nice. I love it, and it looks fantastic. But I was expecting Wiebes of anyone to be riding the new wheels. As advanced as these bikes are, you really cannot beat a little bit of tape in your computer mount if your Garmin or your head unit is rattling around. We're over here with the AG2R team, and it's really interesting to me, the mix of bikes, because Decathlon now has the use of the Van Rysel RCR-F and the RCR. And I see one or two riders still using that bike, not going full aero. So quite interesting, because Van Rysel was making noises about the RCR-F being a faster proposition for kind of any race over 45 kilometers per hour. And I would expect the speeds to be kind of touching that today. So as some of the riders come and take their bikes, they've got to go off to the presentation. We've just been told by the team themselves that some of the wheels here are quite special. They are an all-road wheel, so they're actually wider internally than the normal race wheels. So obviously the AG2R team are wanting those extra bit of comfort on the cobbles. We've been poking our noses around the EF bikes, and we can't see anything new with these Super 6s. But one thing did catch my eye. Ceratizit over here, warming up. EF over here, warming up. The men's riders, I didn't see anyone warming up. So maybe the riders are really needing to get warm before they go into the race. The fantastic thing is you can always rely on the EF women's team to do something fun, and they really have gone full send on the Aero helmets. It doesn't matter whether you're getting changed in the back of a Ford Fiesta or at the start of a pro race. Teamwork does in fact make the dream work. We're over at the UAE Team Emirates bus now, and we're checking out the new Y1 RS, which is a super hot race bike, and it's growing on me a little bit. Two really interesting things about this bike. The first is down on the front end. Look at that, they've got Aero tabs for their transponders, which is so pro. I love that. The second thing that suggests to me that these boys are going to be going very fast today, 56 tooth chain rings on there. They look like the special Dura Ace ones that they make for the time trial bikes. Very jazzy indeed. Look at the lever angle that this rider has going on. Those are canted in quite aggressively. As long as they keep them in line, not too much beyond in line, it's fine. But yeah, those are inboard. Right, I've got Demi Vollering's bike right here. This SL8 is lovely. I absolutely adore this paint job, but I also like this build. It's very well put together. We've got the GP 5000 STR tires. These are running on the standard Roval CLX3 wheels, so nothing new there. We've got some K-edge bits, really nice K-edge bits, chain catcher, and then the out front mount. That's not the standard out front mount there. Overall, I really just like the aesthetic of this paint job and design. Right, now we're here with Jaco Alula. And this is mine and Simon's favorite bike of 2025. That design is just fantastic, and the kit to go with it is great. So the temptation to pinch this one, it belongs to Bob Donaldson, and he looks about my size, I think. Interesting things here, I think, new Cadex tires. I haven't seen this model before. Maybe I've just been not looking hard enough. The team seems to be on 30mm tires. These have a 320 TPI casing. That's what the branding says. And they've got a very nice tan wall. The second interesting thing is, if you cast your eye that way, there are two riders on this team using Physique saddles. Now, maybe they're not getting along with I think it's the Contact SL and SLR saddles that they should be using. So we're over at the Liv Alula team now, and what I can see here is a mix of aero bikes and the kind of climbing bikes. So we have the Enliv up here, and we also have the Langma, just one in. Over at the Jaco team, I didn't see any of their riders, that's the men's riders, I didn't see any of them using the TCR, which is like the all kind of round climbing bike. So a bit more of a mix with the women's team. So that is both of the races gone. And obviously we are going to head to the press center and get busy making content. So we don't know what's actually happened. If you like this content, then make sure you go and like it. But also, why not check out this video right here? You know you want to. I need to lie down.